naman to our next speaker muna. So we have Professor Ricardo T. Bagarinao, the DSUS Program Chair.
Salamat, Noreen. Salamat din for the invitation. Okay? Yan, okay. Katulad ni Dean, malapit din ito sa puso ko, no? Yung topic na baha. Dahil about 7 members ng pamilya ko ay nawala, no? Nung nangyari yung 1991 na flash flood sa Ormoc. Siguro, marami dito ay hindi pa isinilang during that time, no? At wag nyo na lang i-compute yung edad ko, ha? Based on. Anyway, so nakikita natin, no, kung gaano ka tindi or grabe yung epekto ng baha, no, sa buhay at kabuhayan ng mga tao. At nakita din natin yung mga iba't ibang na-present na kanina na ito ay talagang kailangan pag-usapan at pag-isipan, no? Biruin mo, 1991, magpahanggang ngayon, ayun pa rin ang pinag-uusapan natin. Di ba? So that's around, katulad ni Sir Lloyd kanina, 34, no? 34 years. Yun pa rin ang pinag-uusapan natin. Anyway, alam ko na very sensitive itong topic na ito, pero iniisip ko baka kailangan natin ilagay, no, sa tamang perspektibo yung mga reactions natin, yung mga iniisip natin, or sa isang framework, no? Kaya nung tinanong ako kung anong topic na pwedeng i-share ko in this event, sabi ko baka pwedeng mag-introduce, no, ng isang framework na kung saan doon natin titingnan paano ba natin harapin talaga yung problema ng baha sa bansa natin. Okay? So anyways, so yung isi-share ko sa umagang ito is something about from control, no, to adaptation. And I'll be introducing itong risk adaptive sustainability framework, no, para makita natin paano natin i-address, no, yung problema ng baha or paano natin ito ma-apply in flood management. Okay? Actually, iniisip ko itong framework na ito nung dinevelop namin yung proposed master's program ng FMDS, no? Yung Master in Climate and Disaster Resilience. So while dinidevelop namin ito at nire-revise, parang nakailang paulit-ulit kaming pagbabasa nung proposal. Hanggat naisip ko na baka kailangan na talaga natin i-revisit yung knowledge natin on sustainability, no? At kailangan na natin ng integrative na framework na kailangan ipasok na yung climate change adaptation and also disaster risk management, especially in relation to sustainability. Kaya yun po ang aking i-present this morning. Okay? So I'll be talking about Risk Adaptive Sustainability Framework or RAS framework, which I believe is a way to think, no, beyond control toward resilience and sustainability, where institutions, communities, and systems learn and adapt to a changing climate. Next slide, please. Yan, okay? So, kung titingnan po natin, actually, nung nangyari yung 1991, at magpahanggang ngayon, every time na meron po tayong baha na nararanasan, I think, isa sa mga tanong na pwede nating itanong, no, ano ba ang nag-fail? Okay? Is it the infrastructure? Or yung sistema ba natin? Or yung planning mismo, no? At ito yung dapat natin mabigyan, no, ng kasagutan. And again, for decades, alam natin na yung problema sa baha ay patuloy pa rin at this point in time. At tinitingnan natin, kung titingnan natin yung mga solutions na binibigay mula sa ating gobyerno, usually they are being dominated by engineering solutions, no? Nandun yung flood control, dikes, drainage, yung napakinggan natin kanina. Tapos, paminsan-minsan, nandun yung dredging, no? At recently, nakita natin yung problema ng baha or sa baha ay hindi na lang siya physical actually, no? Nagiging political na rin siya. Okay? And I think we also have to address that kind of system, no, sa bansa natin. Kaya kailangan talaga siya tingnan holistically, no? From the environmental, physical perspective hanggang sa political and so on and so forth. Next slide. Okay? Pero kung tatanungin natin yung mga sarili natin, bakit ba nagpe-persist, no, yung baha despite the flood control projects? Okay? Of course, yung una siguro nating isagot is dahil sa corruption. No? And that's basically yung mga nakikita natin at present. But kung titingnan natin holistically yung issue talaga ng baha, there are 3 reasons actually na pwede nating matingnan kung bakit nag-persist yung problema natin sa baha, sa bansa natin. Unang-una, very fragmented yung planning natin. Okay? Nakita natin na yung national government, for example, sila-sila lang, no, ang nagpaplano. Kanina yung case sa Mayondon, hindi nga alam, no, ng taga Mayondon na patungkol doon sa sa proyekto na ito. Kung siguro alam lang nila at meron silang boses doon sa pagpaplano, baka naibigay nila yung tama, no, kung paano gagawin yung proyekto na yon. Okay? And sometimes kung titingnan din natin, no, yung mga proyekto ng baha, there is actually a gap, no, between yung upstream and downstream coordination. Okay? Then the other one is very reactive tayo sa response natin. Pag bumaha, saka pa lang tayo nagre-react. Di ba? Okay? And not even, hindi lang sa no? Hindi lang sa baha, but any other events, no? Disastrous events dito sa bansa natin, ganun yung character natin. Highly reactive doon sa mga nangyayari. The third one is limited adaptive capacity, no? Yung ating mga institutions, mga communities, often wala silang kaalaman, no? Patungkol sa baha, yung makikita lang natin yung kung ano yung impact, yun yung alam nila patungkol sa baha. But in terms of management and so on and so forth, kulang, no, yung kanilang kaalaman. Kaya kung titingnan natin, yung mga factors na ito, nagpapakita lamang na very weak yung sistema natin on how we're going to address, no, yung issue ng flood. Okay? Kaya kailangan natin ng some frameworks that could somehow integrate yung lahat ng ito para makita natin yung kabuuan. Paano ba talaga natin i-address? No? Taking into consideration ng environmental, physical, yung social, yung economic, and so on and so forth. No? Na mga issues and factors related dito sa baha. Next slide, please. Okay? Kaya I'd like to introduce, no, yung framework na ito. Ito ay tinawag na Risk Adaptive Sustainability or the RAS framework. At kung titingnan natin, it is being underpinned actually with the 3 global frameworks of climate change adaptation, disaster risk reduction, and also the sustainability, no, framework. Okay, so we have here the framework connects the 3 interdependent capacities, no? So we have the resilience, the adaptation, sustainability. So pag sinasabi nating resilience, ito yung ability ng isang sistema, institution, komunidad to absorb and recover from floods at yung iba pang mga disturbances, no, or disruptions. Adaptation, ito yung capacity natin, no, to learn, innovate, and adjust to the changing environment or risks associated with flood. Ang sustainability naman, ito yung goal nito is to maintain, no, yung balance between our environment, the social being, the economic, and all other factors, no, and yung institutional stability or continuity, okay, para patuloy nating ma-sustain, no, yung ating mga solutions to flooding. Okay. So kung titingnan natin yung framework na ito, it actually treats flooding as a dynamic risk system. Okay? So hindi lang siya construction, no? Hindi lang siya yung kailangan meron tayong master plan kung paano or kung saan ilagay yung ating mga flood controls. There should be a feedback loops, no? And I think ito yung kulang sa existing na sistema natin. Wala tayong feedback loops dun sa mga ginagawa ng mga flood control projects. Okay? Next slide, please. Okay. And the framework operates, no, across 4 functional domains of institutional practice. So we have the management and development, na-discuss ito kanina, no? Then we have teaching and learning, and I think dito kailangan natin mag-improve, no? Research and inquiry, and public service. So ito yung 4, no, na functional domains that I suppose kailangan nating tingnan when we want to truly manage, no, yung baha na problema natin. Management and development. Kailangan natin tingnan paano ba tayo nagplano, no? How we govern, paano tayo nag-allocate ng resources. Okay? In terms of teaching and learning, how we build knowledge, skills, and awareness about risk and sustainability. If you're going to ask siguro yung mga residente natin sa mga komunidad, alam ba nila kung ano ang risgo associated sa flood? Alam ba nila kung paano natin i-address yung mga risgo na ito, and so on and so forth? Baka ilan lang, no, ang makakasagot sa atin. Research and inquiry, how we generate and use evidence to inform adaptive decisions. Tulad nung nabanggit again kanina sa Mayondon, hindi nga alam nila kung saan dapat ilagay, no, yung manhole para doon pupunta yung tubig, no? Then we have public service, how we engage communities and translate learning into collective action, no? Again, ito yun sa isa sa mga weaknesses sa current na practice natin. We don't have respond, no? We don't have the participation ng ating communities. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, titingnan natin how this framework may work, no, sa flood management practice. In terms of management and development, makikita natin, no, yung framework na ito can promote risk-informed and adaptive planning, no? So instead of coming up yung static master plans lang ng mga flood control projects, usually mga dikes yung ginagawa natin or drainage, flood strategies are continuously updated. Ito yung nabanggit kanina sa Batangas, no? Updated using new data on rainfall, for example, land use and climate projections. Yung data ng land use, very important. Okay? I think kanina ata yon sa Mayondon din, na yung mga drainage system doon sa barangay, nandun, natatabunan sila dahil may mga nagko-construct, no, ng mga bahay doon. Dahil hindi nga alam, no? Kulang tayo sa dissemination ng mga ganitong information sa ating community. Okay? Then in terms of learning, okay? So I think kailangan, no, na magtulungan, okay? It calls for risk literacy and local capacity building. We need to help our communities, yung LGUs natin, and mga paaralan natin, mga universidad natin. So kailangan natin tulungan, no, yung ating mga komunidad to understand, no, yung flood dynamics and paano mag-respond doon sa mga situations na ito. Okay? In research and inquiry, yung framework, using the framework, somehow it supports, no, yung evidence-based decision making. Sa ngayon, pag sinasabi natin flood control project dito sa area na ito, we don't need, no, mga information patungkol doon sa area. Construct na lang tayo kung kino-construct at kung hindi nagiging ghost yung project, no. Then we also need, I think, yung tinatawag natin na open flood data, no? And even yung hydrological data. I think kailangan natin to. Sa ngayon, we don't have any place, no, to get yung mga data na ito easily. For example, yon, kung alam lang ng mga tao na ito pala ang risgo pag nagtayo tayo ng bahay doon sa drainage area, no, ng lugar na ito, pwede pala siyang mag-cause ng flood. I think they would not do that, no? Or they can find other place. Pero we don't have that data available, easily accessible sa mga decision makers. Then lastly, yung public service, in terms of public service, it enables co-production, no? Kailangan na nating magtulungan, yung mamamayan natin, yung scientists natin, yung mga policy makers natin, kailangan nating magtulungan, no, para maintindihan natin at makita natin kung ano ba talaga yung sustainable na solutions sa baha natin. Taking into consideration na pabago-bago, no, pabago-bago yung klima natin, pabago-bago yung risgo associated with this climate change, and so on and so forth. Higit sa lahat, pabago-bago yung leadership natin. Di ba? Pag magkakaroon ng change ng leadership, iba din yung mga programa nila, and that would somehow affect, no, on the management strategy na inaalat natin for flooding. Next slide, please. Okay. So the RAS framework usually follows yung 5-stage stage cycle, no? So we have assessment, so tinitingnan natin yung vulnerabilities, yung capacities, for example, no, adaptive capacity ng mga komunidad natin, and of course, yung system interdependencies, no. So kailangan natin yung informations nito. Tulad kanina, pag may baha, ang daming sistemang apektado, no. So kailangan natin makuha, no, ma-assess yung mga ganong informasyon once we're going to address yung flood problems. The other one is planning, no? Sa pagpaplano natin, ilagay na natin, we should be integrated na sa ating integrative na sa ating planning. Tingnan natin kung ano yung mga ecological considerations, yung social considerations, saka yung technical dimensions, no? Doon sa ating gagawin na design. Then sa implementation, let's apply yung adaptive actions, no? Mamaya, supposedly siya yung nauna sa akin. For example, we can apply yung nature-based solutions, no? Integrated watershed management, and even community preparedness, no, doon sa mga gagawin natin. Then monitoring and reflection. Ito yung isa, again, sa hindi natin makikita sa current sistema. Wala tayong monitoring and evaluation doon sa mga projects na ginagawa natin. Wala tayong feedbacking, no? Na supposedly, kailangan natin tingnan, ano ba ang nag-work? Ano yung hindi nag-work? At bakit hindi nag-work yung strategiya na in-implement natin? And in that way, sana, we would be being able to develop yung well-informed, no, na decision when it comes to managing yung flood events. Then lastly, transformation. Kung ano yung nag-work, maganda siguro kung ma-translate natin ito into policies, no? At saka yung operational guidelines. In that way, ma-institutionalize natin yung effectiveness, no? Yung effective strategy na na-implement natin. Okay? Kaya kung titingnan natin yung loop na ito, using yung framework, we can see that flood management systems actually can be turned into a learning opportunity. Okay? So dapat may continuous information feeding, no, doon sa sistema para mas lalo pa nating mapapa-improve yung ating mga estratehiya to address yung flood problems, no. Next slide, please. Okay, so for example, if we want to apply, no, yung framework na ito, using yung RAS framework, kailangan makita natin yung relationship upstream at downstream, no? Baka doon sa upstream, wala nang puno yung upstream natin. Kahit ano pang gagawin natin dito sa downstream, dahil wala nang puno doon sa taas, babagsak at babagsak pa rin yung engineering solutions natin, no? Midstream, if we want to put up engineering structure doon, baka kailangan merong flexibility tayong gagawin, no? In one of our discussions nga sa DSUS, may isang kasama kami sa faculty na nagsasabi, bakit hindi natin tingnan yung flood water as something that is resource, no? Instead na katatakutan natin yung tubig, baka pwede siya convert into a resource, no? Then downstream communities, again, should be equipped with adaptive capacities, no, or response. So, and I think ginagawa na natin ito ngayon, yung early warning systems, no, yung community protocols, and so on and so forth. Okay? While at the same time, yung mga universities natin, no, yung mga LGUs natin, for example, yung local universities, maganda if makashare sila ng mga rainfall data. For example, yung kanilang mga research sa communities, yung LGUs, kailangan mag-update ng kanilang contingency plans, no? Yung mga communities, ito ang importante. Should be able to provide feedback, no? Doon sa mga nangyayari ng mga proyekto sa kanilang lugar. Okay? So in a way, kung titingnan natin, makikita natin that everyone should be involved, no, in managing yung mga flood events, no, if we want to make it sustainable. Next slide. Okay? So, instead of focusing so much, no, doon sa infrastructure na solution sa mga floods, I think we need to connect yung engineering and nature, no? So, we have to consider yung nature-based solutions and other social measures, and also yung infrastructure. Okay? I do believe na yung combinations ng mga solutions na ito can really effectively address, no? We have to connect all these solutions. Okay, next slide. Now, if we're going to consider, no, using yung framework na ito, when institutions adopt yung RAS framework, they can actually gain foresight, no? Yung ability to anticipate, dahil they have all the information na kakailanganin nila. They would be able to anticipate and plan, no, for emerging risks rather than react to them. So ma-change na natin yung reactive response, no, doon sa flood events. Then they would be able to have the capacity to adjust programs. If they have all this information, pwede na nilang ma-adjust, no, yung kanilang ma-approach or strategies, including yung kanilang budget, no, so that they would be able to address properly kung ano yung risk associated ng flood at that moment. Okay? Then there is also that learning culture, no, where reflection and evaluation becomes part, no, of the operations. And of course, we have the systems resilience, no, where policies, infrastructure, and people reinforce each other's capacity. So kung titingnan natin, using the framework, flood management becomes now adaptive and nurturing, no? So the community will learn more, institutions will be able to create sustainable strategies, and so on and so forth. Next slide, please. Okay? So, to close, let me just emphasize, no, yung points na ito. Una, floods are inevitable, no? Hindi talaga natin maiwasang walang baha. Pero yung disaster, we can manage, no? They are not inevitable, okay? And with the risk adaptive sustainability framework, we're hoping na yung ating flood control projects, no, will be transformed from the cycle of rebuilding into a cycle of learning, adapting, and sustaining. Thank you very much.